Hey there, so glad you found my channel today. I am talking about red flags and specifically going to share an example of something super common that happens when people can spot red flags, which is great, but they're missing this important next step. And this next step only happens when you have a degree of self-trust, discernment, and courage to self-advocate. So let's dig into this. We're going to tell a story today about a 55-year-old woman who reached out to me, and she said that she hasn't had a real relationship in over 10 years, but in the last 6 months, she's been off and on in a relationship that leaves her feeling incredibly anxious, very confused, and she says that she's not really trusting whether or not he's a narcissist. So she says that when they first got together, she got emails from 2 different women who were his exes warning her about him. 2 different women, 2 different emails, basically saying, girl, you better watch out with this guy. This is what happened to me and all this. Okay, so that's sign number 1, red flag number 1. You start dating someone and you have people come in at you who don't know you, just random women, and they feel compelled to warn you about this person. Don't you think that that's kind of a red flag? So let's continue, because she ignored that red flag. And she said that because she works in the field of divorces and lawyer and all that, she believes that that doesn't help her because she's always trying to analyze what's going on with her own relationships, and it leaves her very cynical and very jaded and very much afraid. She's in this constant state of anxiety because she doesn't trust herself, right? So what she's seeing is that she's hyper focused on his energy, and if it switches and it's different, it drives her crazy. So this is a woman who clearly is codependent. She then craves stability, and when she doesn't have stability, she freaks out and gets all anxious. She needs external stability. She's unable to generate that from herself, for herself. So therefore, she's easily rattled when the people around her aren't behaving as she needs them to be to feel safe and secure. So again, this is where we go into the whole, you are responsible for yourself. You are an adult, and if you need to have a certain kind of person around you and you are with someone who is showing you clearly that they are not that, then it is on you to keep your parade moving, right? You don't just give access to everybody. They have to be your people. So I wanted to go into this video today about that. People who see red flags as to this person isn't for me for all of these reasons that are presenting themselves, yet they continue along in the relationship. So she caught him lying a few times, which is yet another important red flag. And it's not about catching someone lying a few times. When does it end? When do you say, caught you lying more than once, I'm out? This is self-advocacy, and it is something that codependents have a really tough time doing. I know, because I was once codependent. I would put excuses up for the bad treatment, the neglect of other people. And I would get mad. I would get angry, and then I would have displaced anger or projected anger. So instead of making a decision and saying, oh, this is what you're about, okay, I'm not tolerating that, I'm out. I couldn't do that. I needed them to be different to prove to me that they loved me. If you loved me, you would behave a different way towards me. Let me teach you how to treat me. You know how you teach people how to treat you? By leaving them be. When you decide that this person is not on point, you move along. She is enabled to do this, right? So she reached out to me for help. So we're trying to help her now. And I sent her a reply, and like, this is what happens when you do the free love life assessment on my website, LoveQuestCoaching.com. You get to tell me what's going on in detail. And then if it's a video that, some other people can benefit from, I'll use the topic, but I reply back with a very detailed report of why these things are happening to you, what are the things that you can look at and shift, and how that would look if you did shift. What would be the benefit? What would be the result, the change in your life that you would experience if you took the opportunity and committed fully to yourself to address these things? So this person believes that they are the problem, because the person that they are with is, in fact, highly narcissistic. And here's why. She believes she's most of the problem because he stonewalls her if she doesn't act right. What is that? Is she a child? You better behave or you get stonewalled. Like, why are you in this relationship? Exactly. Like, what is the benefit? It has you anxious. You feel awful. So what's the point? If I question him in any way, she says, or try to speak on how I feel like I finally took a chance and now I'm messing up. So he's teaching her, and she learned this already. He's just reinforcing it, that she has no right to advocate for herself. She has no right to assert herself, to ask for proper treatment, to clarify what proper treatment looks like for her. And that's manipulation. Right? If you say to somebody, hey, don't piss on my floor, and they say, I'm sorry about that, and then the next day they come and piss on your floor, that's not a changed behavior, that's manipulation. And furthermore, if they chastise you or belittle you for being upset that they pissed on your floor, that's full-on gaslighting and manipulation, and it's not to be tolerated. And codependents, like moth to a flame, tolerate that bullshit. And it's because, you see this pen? Here's narcissism and here's codependency. They hang out together, two sides of the same stick. It goes on to ask, what patterns do you see in your love life? Anything that happens over and over? And she says, I never trust. It's almost like I look for things that don't add up, and then I get anxiety really badly about it. Well, that's because you're not leaving. That's because you're not taking care of yourself, and you're not making decisions for your betterment, for your safety, for your own security. You're not taking responsibility for keeping yourself safe. What 3 questions do you want answers to with regards to your love life? She says, how can I trust when I have a strong feeling that he's cheating? So she doesn't trust herself. And a lot of people, especially codependent people, have this problem. They lack self-trust. They lack discernment. They ignore their gut. They don't know how to take action and make decisions when their feelings are alerting them through their body that this situation is not good for them. So number 1, I would say, is that trust issue, that lack of self-trust needs to be handled. Because if you are out there living in relationships worrying that somebody's going to cheat on you, that means that you lack self-trust. It means that you don't know what you would do with yourself if somebody betrayed you. That's a problem, right? Like, if you don't know what you would do for yourself if someone betrays you, and you don't have the confidence to explain that to people so that they think again before betraying you, if you're not clear on the consequence of betrayal, your consequence for them, and you don't know how to express that, people are going to railroad you. They're going to run over you like a train. They're going to try to get over on you all the time. And it doesn't just have to do with cheating. It has to do with everything. Money, just you name it, right? What you're giving in the relationship, what it looks like to be in partnership. You're not clear on that, and you don't have clear consequence for crap actions, then you don't trust yourself. And that's what this woman is facing. This is why she's in the situation she's in. Like, when you are in a relationship and you totally trust yourself, it looks like this. So people have free will. And so it is possible that at any time, someone can betray me. I know that if that happens, I write them off. That is the consequence for betrayal, is the removal of Lisa from your life. Bye-bye. So this is succinct and to the point, and it's delivered in an energy that you can tell I'm for real. So when you are able to say that wholeheartedly, and you know you're for real and you're not bullshitting yourself and the person, then you're like, all right, bro, well, that's an unfortunate decision. You're going to cheat on me? Like, all right, well, that's an unfortunate decision. I got to go. Right? It's that matter of factly, right? Same with a friend. You know, you shit talked me in front of people and I heard about it. So I can't be friends with you anymore. Very done. But if you don't have that self-love, self-trust, ability to advocate for yourself, then you will be anxious, worrying about everybody doing you dirty. So you're like, you know what? I'm so worried that somebody's going to do me dirty that now I don't even enter a relationship. And when I do, I'm completely, oh my God, what if they do? So what? If they do you wrong, what then? What's the consequence? Empower yourself. Sit down and think about, if sister screws me over, what's the consequence? If mom, dad, guy at work, boss, whatever, write down a list of people in your orbit and be like, if these people screw me over, here's the consequence. And have that like in your soul, embody that in your soul, in the core of who you are. This is badassery. This is empowerment. This is how you operate in the world where no one pushes you around. You don't comply to shit just because you want to please people. Nobody's above you and you're not above anybody else. No masters, no slaves. So start acting like a sovereign being because you are one. So this woman is completely powerless to this dipshit who she isn't even really in a relationship with. It's a situationship. Whole other video on that coming. Another one. Trust me on that. Because that is the biggest toxic waste of time anybody could be in. The other thing she says, how do I not become codependent? Well, you are codependent. You don't become it. She is it. So she has to face the fact that she is codependent, that she cares too much about the affirmation, the opinions, the love, the nurturing, the care, the provision, the emotional nourishment from others. She doesn't know how to cultivate all of that on her own. How do I stop my anxiety or panic attacks when I think he's cheating? Don't be with somebody who lied to you already. Advocate for yourself. Learn how to say, you know what, this dude is lying to me about these little things. Like, no, that's shady. I'm out. And take pride in that. You have the right to remove yourself from a relationship that seems off to you, shady to you. Stop with this thing of I have to be nice and I have to give people chances. And the biggest one, nobody's perfect. No, I'm not saying perfection. I'm saying honorable. Integrity. Nobody's perfect. Right, nobody's perfect, but people can be respectful. People can be honorable. People can treat you with integrity. So make that, anchor it to that. You don't have to have perfection. Nobody's perfect. You're right. We're all a work in progress. But that doesn't excuse shitty behavior. And there are a lot of people out there tolerating shitty behavior because they're desperate, lonely, and afraid of what happens and who will I be if I'm not with this person. Better alone than in bad company. So this chick gave me this inspiration to hopefully light a few of you up too, because she's not alone. There are a lot of people out there dicking around in these bullshit relationships, sitting at home wondering where the dude is, where the chick is, and oh, I texted her, and oh, she didn't text me back. All this games and bullshit. It's beneath you. It's beneath you. Grow up, love yourself, and stop tolerating bullshit. Like, do you honestly think with the limited amount of time that we have to tend to everything that we need to tend to make money, to go serve people in the world, that you are going to have time and bandwidth for bullshit? Think about it. Think about, like, if you're in a shitty relationship and you remove that energy, that toxic, dark energy from your life, right? Whether it's a romantic relationship or a familial relationship, just somebody is toxic in your circles. Think about what more you could achieve just if you're in a peaceful state and you're clear and you can function. And you can be like, dude, I can like rock this out, this task, this thing in my business, this goal that I have for myself, whatever. But you remove those people and you're like, woof, I just got into ease and flow because I haven't talked to my toxic sister in 3 months. Boom. And I made money and I did this, right? And there are people that I coach that have that they reach this point where they're like, I cannot allow toxicity in my life at all, period. And with the awakening that we are all facing on this planet, these are the decisions that we are now becoming more and more comfortable making. I was always cool with writing people off. Never had a problem with it because I was clear, very clear about how I'm to be treated and how I treat other people. And I was also very clear from a very young age that if I am betrayed, there is a consequence. Now, that ran me into trouble when I was the one being the unfaithful one who betrayed. Then I felt guilt. Then I was like, you know what? Give me the arrows. Give me the knives. I deserve it all. But then that got toxic because that went on the other end of the other extreme. So that can happen too. And it is normal when that happens. And it's like super like you get thrown off. But if you know that you're looking at, I want to be in a relationship, and you're clear about what that relationship looks like, then you're not dicking around on anything that doesn't look like that. This woman is seeing red flag after red flag after red flag, but she's taking no action. That's the second part of red flag. I see all these people on social media. I learned how to spot red flags. Really? Good for you, honey. What do you do next? Look, there's a red flag. Let's get dressed up and go out with this asshole again. Look, here's another red flag. Oh, let me lend him $2,000. Oh, look, there's another red flag. I'm going to now, have his family over for the holidays. Idiot. Idiot. You see it and you do nothing about it. Problem. That is why you are where you are. Because you see the red flags, like you collect them, Oh, look, I can spot 20 red flags. Great. Are you fucking miserable? Yes. So it's not like, yay you that you can spot red flags. Great. You made the first step, like awesome. But if you don't do the step 2, which is make a decision and leave, or make a decision and call them out on the red flag, leaving is better because typically it's making a decision. Right? You're coming at it making a decision. It's not, let me give you a chance to fuck me over again. Let me explain how you fucked me over and how I see it so that you can change your strategy to manipulate me another way. No, leave. Here's what you did. I didn't like it. I'm out. It's very simple. And it should be simple. People complicate it. Shouldn't be. It's not complicated. Do you love yourself? Yes or no? Do you take shit? Yes or no? Are you put here to eat shit from toxic people? Yes or no? And there is no gray area. Sorry, there is not. Oh, but Lisa, I have children. But Lisa, I have, I have responsibilities. I have this, I have that, I have the other. You have yourself first. Do you not? Why are you abandoning yourself because you don't want to be in discomfort? Here's the deal. If you're being screwed over, it's not allowed, period. And if you allow it, it will continue. That is guaranteed. When these people, like this one right here, dating this guy, oh, I caught him in lies, multiple lies, and you did nothing? You're still with him, entertaining what, lie number 10? When does it stop? This is the problem. So until the work is done, deep inner bonding, inner child work, shadow work, all that, which answers the questions of what is it in me that needs to be in a relationship like this? Why can't I let go? Why can't I tell people who treat me badly to go hit the bricks? Why can't I do that? Why am I such a people pleaser? Why am I such a doormat? When you start asking those questions, which is awesome, then you have somewhere to go. You can go deeper inside and start being the little detective to decide and figure out finally, why am I the way I am and how do I shift this? And that's the work that I help people to do. The people who, like this lady, is looking at herself and realizing I am in something that is not healthy for me. It's not good for me. And I need to know why I do this and I need to stop it. Right? So she reaches out to me and I like, okay, I'm doing this video. And then it's like, all right, now rubber meets the road. Do you want to do this shit or what? Do you want to look into the depths of you to really get clear about why you tolerate this bullshit in your life? Or are you too afraid? Because I work with courageous, badass people. Courageous. People who are like, I reached my breaking point. I've been circling the drain on this issue for 5 years. I've seen your videos. I've been following you. And finally, you said something in a certain way, and it was like a punch in my face. So I wrote to you. And then we end up doing a session. And from a session, we end up in a coaching program. And then life changes for this person. They change their life. I just kind of ask them a bunch of questions and guide them along, but they pretty much change their life themselves. It's nuts. It's amazing to see. But if they don't take that action step and they just think like, oh, I'll just scroll TikTok for advice videos, like that's not going to do shit. You need to be integrated, meaning you need to learn a bunch of stuff and then you need to get to the truth. And then you need to apply new behaviors to your day-to-day life. And then after 3 weeks, 4 weeks of that, and in putting forth these new behaviors, you become a different person. You change your identity. Oh, I used to be codependent. I used to need everybody to be a certain way. I used to be super angry and like a little brat kid. I used to show up in my relationships like a wounded 12-year-old. But then I did all this work and I learned a bunch of stuff about myself and I started creating, a relationship with me. And I started to heal all these really amazing things that I learned about myself that I didn't really look at before. And I healed them. And now I'm over here. And I live differently now. I make decisions differently now. I show up differently now. And that is the evolution. That is the power. So if anybody knows me from, beginning of Facebook, 2010 or whatever, you will know that my journey was completely, different. It's from who I was back then to who I am now, different. If you're watching this on YouTube, I have 800 videos. Go on my channel, type in 2014, and you will see what I was like back then. Very different. We all evolve, we all grow, and we're all responsible for handling our shit along the way. And when you do, you come into self-love, acceptance. You love up on that girl that was 18 and did these stupid things. You love up on that girl that was 23, 34. Like, you look at all of these different versions of you and you reach peace with them. So, my dear friends, I hope that this served you well. And if you stayed to this point, you are invited to go to LoveQuestCoaching.com. That is my website, LoveQuestCoaching.com. And there is a free gift for you, the Love Life Assessment. Take it. It is magical. I got people printing this thing out, bringing it to their therapist and being like, you're fired. Look at this report. I've been talking to you for a year. I never got something like this. Because therapy is different than coaching. Both are good. I'm not throwing any shade on therapy. But people reach a point where once they've analyzed themselves to death and they know why, then they want to do something about it. The do something about it, that's where coaching comes in. So therapy and coaching, they work awesome together. But yes, start off with free Love Life Assessment at LoveQuestCoaching.com. That is my website. You'll see a picture of me there so you know that it's actually me. And we get rolling from there. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful for your attention and time. And I hope that this information served you well. Thanks so much. Bye.